I would like to tell you something on tobacco dependence and smoking. First of all, I want to tell about the various types of tobacco and the forms of tobacco. There are smoking tobacco and smokeless tobacco. Well, the most common types of smoking tobacco are cigarette, cigars, BD and everything. So BD are basically more like the local form of tobacco. Whereas if you go to the smokeless form of tobacco, there are Mawa, Chaini, Gutka, Chuta, and there are gazillions of others. And when we see about the dependence, what could be the possible factors which could trigger or initiate the tobacco smoking, is that usually it starts out of curiosity. Since this might be even a cause for the single most preventable form of death. So the World Health Organization has been smoking habit has been has been a risk factor for many diseases like cardiovascular disease and various types of cancer. And coming back to the factors which can initiate this smoking, the teenagers would mostly try it out of curiosity. They want to impersonate their favorite movie stars. For instance, in our country, you all know the superstar is quite popular, and there is one particular scene which has dragged the attention of almost the people from all the walks of life. Secretly, they have even tried imitating one particular scene where the superstar takes a very lengthy cigarette, which is quite thin and long, which is brown in color, and he used to smoke that, and there is a dense smog of smoke which is coming out from his cigarette. And many people try to impersonate, especially the people from the late 80s and the 90s, and it's quite popular till now also. Well, if you see the international movies, there are certain movie stars like Al Pacino, who has played the Godfather, who has played the antagonist in the Godfather movie, where he used to have the costly Cuban cigar, and he used to have dense smoke surrounding him. And people used to imitate these scenes, and they drive some sort of fun out of it. And there are certain sections of people who want to show some sort of macho image or something. They take out a puff and they used to have the smoke as a relaxation or a stress buster. And sometimes people used to smoke just to showcase their presence. It's more kind of a personal thing, the factors which can initiate this smoking habit. In fact, there is a fun fact. The company which runs this tobacco in India, in our company, has been consistently performing phenomenally in their shares and in their stock market. Their percentage of profit has been consistently over 200%. So the people who bought this particular stocks of this tobacco company has become millionaires, actually, millionaires and billionaires. So you could see how much of an impact this tobacco has in our country. Let us move on to the constituents of cigarette. There are many harmful constituents in a cigarette. For instance, there is tar, there is carbon monoxide, there is formalin, there is benzene, and of course there are suspended particles in the smoke of a cigarette. Mostly the constituent is nicotine. So all these constituents of tobacco is really harmful for our health. Coming to the harmful effects of smoking, there is a plethora of harmful effects, so much so that you couldn't start to imagine that it almost affects all the system of our body, starting from stroke to the cardiovascular disease, breathlessness, or the cause of cancer, mostly the lung cancer, oral cancer, and all these cancers. When you all these things are strongly associated with smoking habit. And moving on to the reproductive system, there are many issues in both men and women who has this prolonged habit of smoking. In men, there is the issue of the low sperm count and the morphology of the sperm being altered, and the motility of the sperm has been reduced, and the rate of conception and the virility and everything is being affected by the smoking habit. When you come to the conception in women, even if the women gives rise to a birth to a child, there is low birth weight in the females who has been having a consistent smoking habit. I will give you the various classification of smoker, how a smoker can be categorized. So first category is a occasional smoker. Okay, occasional smoker is someone who has been smoking but not on a daily basis. So next we have a category of non-smoker. Non-smoker is somebody who has not smoked 100 cigarettes, more than 100 cigarettes or cigars or pipes during his lifetime. And the third category is a daily smoker. Daily smoker is someone who smokes cigarettes, cigars or pipe or whatever on a routine basis or on a daily basis. So the last category is ex-smoker. Ex-smoker is someone who has not been smoking for the past 6 months. So these 4 types are the various classification of smokers. Apart from this, we also classify smokers on their dependence based on their severity. So first we have three categories based on the severity of smoking. First we have mild smoker, and we have second we have moderate smoker, and third we have a severe smoker. So first, moving on to the first, we will see about the mild smoker. A mild smoker is someone who smokes less than 20 cigarettes per day, and a moderate smoker is someone who smokes somewhere between 20 to 40 cigarettes per day. And the last is a severe smoker. Severe smoker is somebody who smokes more than 40 cigarettes per day. We'll move on to the various withdrawal symptoms and how the WHO gives an emphasis on this. There are many categories of withdrawal symptoms. So how this urge of smoking, urge towards smoking manifests is that sometimes the smokers wouldn't have a say or wouldn't have cannot exercise much control over the number of cigarettes he smokes per day. He might prioritize smoking over other activities, and the smoker might get some withdrawal symptoms. He might not be able to concentrate in other activities, and so these are all some of the withdrawal symptoms. If the smoker has any 2 or 3 of these symptoms, then we must go for a tobacco cessation. There are many factors which can influence the person's choice of whether to quit a smoking habit or not. So more often the person will be having a fear of managing his quitting habit, and second, he has inability to have a primary coping mechanism, and third is nothing but the person will have an emotional attachment or some sort of attachment whenever he smokes. For instance, when the person is stressed, or when the person wants to de-stress or want to have a chilled out time, the person will have an emotional attachment whenever he smokes it. So he will be having a belief that if he stops that, he might not feel happy. So the smokers have basically 4 sorts of belief. So the first belief is nothing but the skeptical belief, and the second is bulletproof belief, and third is worth it belief, and the fourth is jungle belief. So we'll see about the first one, that is the skeptical beliefs. So irrespective of the evidence which the doctors, the nurse, the physician, whoever they submit, the person who is smoking, they have a belief that I get to see the doctors, nurses, dentists, I get to see all these people smoking. So that can be that much harmful, right? So I'll also go with that same habit. So the person's belief is that. So this is one sort of a dangerous belief. And the second one is the bulletproof belief, where the person, he thinks himself as some sort of Superman or superhuman being, that he is immune to all sort of deleterious habits, like no amount of smoke can harm me or something or whatever. His immune system is so high that he can resist this deleterious habit, and he can have still lead a healthy life. This is also a second reason for this belief. And the third belief is nothing but the worth it belief. So the worth it belief, in this particular belief of smoker, the smoker has a mindset that he has only short duration of life, or he get to live his life once. So it's definitely worth it to go ahead and enjoy the pleasure of smoking rather than depriving of the habit. He'll just go ahead and live a short life and a happy life. This is also another sort of mindset which a smoker will have. And the last is the jungle belief. Jungle belief is nothing but if the doctor or the physician who is trying to convince the patient to give up the smoking habit, the patient might say that there are like 110 list of items which can cause cancer, right from the pollution, the smoke from other sources, inhalation of other harmful things, this, that, carcinogen, blah blah blah. So what is this particular cessation of smoking going to cause that much of difference in his cancer outcome? So anyway, I'll go ahead with that habit.